It is Wednesday, September 27th. I forgot how to read numbers for a second. 2023. And I'm. All right. Um, so, I did basically just get back from work, but I didn't just get back from work. Um, I went ahead and packed a lunch for tomorrow and stuck it in the fridge. It was just a normal peanut butter and jelly sandwich like I've been making every other day. Um, but this today, I actually made it when I got back from work instead of trying to quick make it in the morning. Because this week, I have, I've been complaining lately about being tired. Well, when I am tired, first of all, I'm also kind of tired today, but not as much as the other days this week. Um, when I'm tired, I spend more time doing things in the morning. Um, Not that it actually. Well, hold on. It takes me longer to get going in the morning. Not because I'm actually doing more, or I don't think it actually takes longer, but I just don't go between things as fast. I guess I don't know. So even when I start my morning routine at the same time, okay, yeah, I start my morning routine the same time every morning. I have an alarm on my phone that basically tells me to stop scrolling Reddit and get going. Um, because I always wake up before that, and so I just basically sit. Well, maybe I should just get out of bed. Nah, I don't know. What's the likelihood that I'm gonna straight get out of bed as soon as I wake up? Very slim. So regardless of when I wake up, um, if I wake up too early, I try to get back to sleep, obviously. But regardless of when I wake up, I start my morning routine at the same time every morning. But when I'm tired or when I haven't slept that well, regardless of when I start it, it takes longer. That's what I've been trying to say for the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Uh, so this week, since I've been really tired every day pretty much, um, I've been getting to work. They let me. I mean, I can come in whenever I want as long as I spend. They, the rule is 80 hours every 2 weeks because the pay period is 2 weeks. So they all you need to do is get 80 hours in 2 weeks. I don't know. I honestly don't remember which week is the 1 week and which week is the 2 week. So I just get 40 hours in a week. I could ask somebody. I could figure it out very easily, but whatever. It doesn't matter. So I can get in whenever I want, basically. Uh, but I've been getting in 5 to 15 minutes after the time I've been targeting. So that's why I went ahead and packed my lunch for tomorrow. It's not that hard, but it just seems to take a lot of time when you're rushing in the morning, and it seems to not take any time at all when you get home from work and you're just gonna mess around and watch YouTube videos for the next 8 hours anyway. Why not use some of those 8 hours of YouTube watching to make your morning happier? Maybe rushing to do things in the morning, though, makes you more awake for when you get to work. I'll have to figure that out tomorrow. But the main thing that I was thinking about was that it has been many, many weeks since I said to this video journal that that would be a good idea. And it has taken me X amount of days and weeks to actually do that. So I might need to make a list of things that I'm looking out um, for when I get through these and when I post them or whatever. Because there's going to be things like that. First of all, I still haven't put up the shelves for my bookshelf, and that happened. I said about that a long time ago too. So I need to maybe look into something like that, like maybe just, uh, I don't know, just like a Word document or a text file. Why would I put it in a text file instead of a Word document? I don't know. Text files are more trustworthy. I don't know why. In my line of work, if uh, if there's a choice between reading a text file and reading a Word document, first of all, it depends. But second of all, you probably want to read the text file. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of interested now because I have no idea how long it's been. Um, if I do post these, maybe people can put in the comments if they remember, or like if it was their birthday and they remember me mentioning it. If there's some reason why you remember, you could post that, and then that would actually, I would love that if people could create like a huge network, like kind of like a Wikipedia article. This references that from that day. This references that from that day. I would love that. That would that would make me so happy. I would absolutely love it if that happened. Like, imagine somebody taking like a transcript, like writing everything out and then making like Wikipedia links in the transcript, so that way you really get the best of both worlds of a video journal and like a text journal, because I think that's something I've mentioned before. So make a link to this topic that I'm talking about now, that you there's a lot of utility in a video journal. Like, you can see me, you can see like the shirts that I'm wearing. That's something I've talked about. Why am I hanging onto my hard drive? I don't know, because it's something. I don't have, actually I do have fidget toys. I have this fidget spinner that my sister found in a park, and it was all rusty. It was after July 4th, I think, but it makes a lot of noise. So this is something I can just hang on to. What am I even talking about? What was I? Train of thought. Please come back. Come back. Please. Don't leave. The train of thought is getting further away from the station. I'm losing it. It's gone. Trace back the train tracks. Like a Python error message. And we'll get to the bottom of it. Yes, utility of video journals. I got there. I found it. You can see a lot of things in a video journal. One of the things I'm interested in is seeing how the background changes every once in a while. You can see my, wow, this really has a wide field of view. You can see my external battery over there that I'm waiting to charge. Because why am I waiting to do that? Because, well, I sat down and immediately started this. That's why. But you can't skim through a video journal. It's not really possible. Like, you can look at all the thumbnails, but all the thumbnails are going to tell you what shirt I'm wearing, slight changes in the background, and where my laptop is when I'm looking over to see the date and time. So it's hard to skim through a video journal, but it's easy to skim through a text journal because you can just flip through the pages and kind of read as fast as you can. So, yeah. Skimming through a text, well, skimming through a video file would be like putting it at 1.5 speed and getting rid of every single pause. That would basically be the equivalent, which, I mean, is possible. Podcasts do things where they remove all the pauses. So, I mean, it's theoretically possible. There's not really a huge reason why this needs to be a video journal besides an audio, instead of an audio journal. But I think it makes you get more information in a video, obviously, even if it is not much and kind of useless. And if I'm going to post this on YouTube, it needs to be a video. I mean, I could just put up a picture and put up audio, but like, that's I don't really see the point of that. Um, since it's just basically as easy to record video anyway, since I have the whole setup for like streams and stuff. Speaking of which, my video didn't go out yesterday like it was supposed to because in the middle of the recording I got up for like 15 minutes and like I don't know what I was doing. I was like talking with my brother or something. I got a text and I needed to go deal with something for like 15 minutes and then I came back. And there's no way I'm putting up a video on my YouTube channel that has 15 minutes of nothing. So I had to chop it out, re-render it, which takes close to, I think it took like an hour and a half, maybe longer, and then re-upload it, which apparently it wasn't doing all night because I just looked at it and it's 38% when it was like 18% when I went to bed last night. So apparently my computer slept pretty quickly and didn't continue uploading, which I see why YouTube makes your computer be active for the entire time that it's uploading, because if you could just upload stuff and then leave it, then first of all, I don't really know how that would work. Second of all, their servers would probably explode. So I can see why they do it, but it is kind of annoying. I do have it set to go live as soon as it finishes uploading, which I usually don't do. But since I already checked it over and all I did was take something out, a 15-minute pause, then I forgot what I was saying. I forgot what the beginning of the sentence was. But it all works out. I don't need to check over again. This is already... You can tell I'm not as tired because I'm already up to like 12 minutes. And this doesn't feel as long as some of those other 3-minute videos have. So I need to get better sleep tonight. The other reason why I finally made my lunch for tomorrow tonight, which, okay, so it does have a slight overhead of you have to put it in the refrigerator. So, whoop-de-doo. But that's the opening up the refrigerator, finding a place and setting it down. And then opening up the refrigerator and getting it out. That's the only downside, really, to doing it in the evening. So, yeah. If you want a fresh, never refrigerated sandwich, I don't know. The one thing I have noticed about my sandwiches is that you want the peanut butter side down and the jelly side up, because if you put too much jelly on, sometimes it kind of soaks through. But that's kind of a particular thing. It's a detail. It's not a useless detail, but it's a fine detail about sandwich making. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the reason why you guys would not believe how hard it is to remember your train of thought when you get distracted. Like, when I listen back to like streams and videos that I've done, it seems like, things just go away, and it's like, well, I wanted to hear what I actually thought about that, but it's so much harder to remember it when you're actually recording than it is to like follow along with it when you're watching. There's so many, I don't know. It's different because I'm actively creating this, instead of actively or passively consuming it, Anyway, for the third time, the reason why I did it was because there's a thing going on at 8 tomorrow, like a little meeting, like let's listen to this guy talk, and I want to go to it. So I'm going to make sure that I get there by 8, which is normally the time that I try to be there anyway. So I should be prioritizing better sleep anyway, but I think I will do that tonight and then make it there on time, hopefully. So what else? Oh yeah, I had an entire another topic that I wanted to talk about. And the only reason why I came here with something that I wanted to talk about is because it just happened. And that's, I mean, I hadn't planned what I was gonna. Well, I did kind of. Okay. Coming with something to talk about is not the same as planning what to talk about. I don't know why I'm making a big deal about it. Let's just. So, um, I recently ran out of peanut butter, like 2 days ago or something. And so a few days before that, I had gone to the store to get peanut butter to replace it. So I looked for specifically reduced sugar peanut butter because most peanut butter, it seems like, has a lot of added sugar to it, and it doesn't need to have it. Like you can, I mean, I am not an expert about peanut butter, but I do know that when you grind peanuts, you get peanut butter. You don't need uh, salt or sugar. I mean, obviously, the peanut butter that everybody is used to has salt and sugar, and you probably want at least some salt in your peanut butter. For the average consumer probably wants salt in their peanut butter, and is used to having sugar in their peanut butter. So I went and looked for reduced sugar peanut butter, and what I found was actually reduced salt, reduced sugar peanut butter. So it's an interesting thing, though, right? Uh, do you think that reduced salt, reduced sugar peanut butter is healthier for you than normal off the shelf peanut butter? Uh, and uh, there is a question as to what do you mean by healthier? Healthier means a lot of different things, and for each person, it probably means something different. It probably should mean something different for each person. But uh, reduced sugar, reduced reduced salt. I mean, mainly what I'm thinking of is yeah, well, both actually. Reduced sugar, reduced salt peanut butter has more calories in it than normal peanut butter. And, they were two different brands, so, I mean, there's probably some variability, but probably not so much. Uh, like, there's not a lot you can do to peanut butter to make it different than other brands of peanut butter. So, I mean, I'll take this with a grain of salt. I mean, go look for yourself. Uh, Everybody in the world has limited information, and maybe by pooling all of our limited information together, we can have a better picture of what exactly is going on. But with my limited information, uh, the reduced salt, reduced sugar peanut butter has more calories in the same amount. In the same amount, it was what? Uh, it was 32 grams for each, which is 2 tablespoons approximately. I don't know. That's what the nutrition facts said. Uh, in the normal peanut butter that I had before, it was I think it was 180 calories. Um, in the reduced salt, reduced sugar one, it was 190 calories. So not very much. But the thing is, the difference between them, when you say reduced salt, reduced sugar, but the serving size is the same amount. That means that you are replacing the salt and sugar with something else. And that may seem obvious, but it also is kind of not obvious in the same way, you know? You think that by taking something out, you're taking something out, but you're not. By taking something out and having the volume remain constant, the amount of stuff, which I guess would technically be the mass, whatever, it's fine. I'm not thinking about densities, okay? That's not factoring into this. Um I mean, then you have to consider, okay, tablespoons are a volume, right? And grams are a density, so there's a little bit of whatever. We're not taking that into account. So, uh, when you take something out and keep the volume the same, you are replacing it with something else. And in this case, you're replacing it with more peanuts. You know, um, presumably at least. Uh, I don't know all of the details. Like I said, I'm not a peanut butter expert. I'm just going based on what I saw and what I know. So, um, the thing is, peanuts are very high relatively in fat. So, by taking out sugar and salt, you are replacing it with more peanuts, a higher concentration of peanuts, I guess, which in turn have a higher concentration of fat. So, at least some at least some proportion of the sugar and salt are being replaced by fat from the peanuts. And according to the nutrition facts, if I remember right, that comes out to about a gram extra of fat in 32 grams of peanut butter. Fat has now, if I can, this is a very rough number based on some science class that I took some long time ago. I think fat has close to about 2 to 1 calorie density compared to sugar. So, if you replace the same amount of fat with the same amount of sugar, you'll have twice as many calories in the fat. It's a denser fuel, which is why your body likes to pack fat into places instead of sugar, because it can fit twice as much energy in the same amount of space. So, if you're going for, if your definition of healthy is this is going to have fewer calories that I will then have to burn to make it to equilibrium. That's a weird way to say that. If your definition of healthiness is fewer calories, then you're not going to get it from the reduced sodium, reduced sugar peanut butter. You are getting more calories even though it seems like you're taking out stuff that's unhealthy. So, this has been a very long peanut butter rant. It's not really a rant, it's just an interesting application of things that you might not necessarily think of. And I mean, you can't get closer to an everyday object than peanut butter, you know? So just be aware when you're messing with concentrations in things, you might think that taking things out lowers some metric, you know? But you have to be aware of what's going back in, you know? It's conservation of mass. When stuff comes out but the volume stays the same, stuff has to go in. So be aware of that in your everyday lives when you're dealing with what peanut butter brands to buy. I don't know, I just found that really interesting. And the other thing is reduced sodium, reduced sodium, reduced sugar. I don't think it actually said how much it was reduced. I could have probably figured that out if I had thought about this ahead of time, but like I said, I didn't. I planned that I was going to talk about this, and so I looked at the labels, and, my brain for numbers scrounged up some of them that I saw. But, yeah. Anyway, I probably don't need to be talking about peanut butter anymore. I probably could have come up with a better point than the point that I had, but I don't plan these, and this is just something that I thought of 5 minutes ago. Actually, 30 minutes ago, because I've been talking for 24 minutes. Oh no. So, I feel like I need a conclusion sentence, but it's important to think of math when you're doing things, and sometimes the math makes sense and sometimes the math doesn't make sense, but if you use the math right, you'll be right even if the answer doesn't make sense. So if you if you don't use the math and you just go on what makes sense, you might be wrong. And if you use the math wrong, you also might be wrong. But if you use the math right, you can be right even when it seems wrong. So, I like math, and you should too. Goodbye.